Hey, what's up? My name is Jonathan Fink. This is my audiobook series. And up next, we have Spirits of the Gridiron, Volume 1, Chapter 14, The Prank Wars. There are rivalries, and then there are wars. And at Simpson College, nothing stoked the flames quite like the annual Midwest Interfraternity Beer Pong Tournament, an event as legendary as it was irresponsible. Beck Jordan hadn't even planned on entering. He was a pledge, after all, still scrubbing floors and memorizing the names of long dead fraternity founders. But Sigma Pi Mu needed players, guys with steady hands, calm nerves, and the kind of irrational confidence that walks hand in hand with being a quarterback. Beck was built for this. The tournament took over the Sigma Pi Mu house one Sunday afternoon in early fall. Frats from across the region showed up in matching shirts, lugging coolers and wearing backwards hats. Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri. It was a full-scale, beer-fueled invasion. But none drew more attention than Omega Chi from Wartburg College. They were Sigma Pi Mu's true nemesis. Cocky, rich, the kind of guys who wore golf polos and acted like their dads owned the local banks. They rolled in bumping EDM music, sunglasses on indoors, and had the gall to talk trash before the first cup was even filled. "We came to collect our trophy," one of them sneered. "You came to lose on camera," replied Landon Big Sauce McAllister, Sigma Pi Mu's starting tailback and reigning beer pong champion. The tournament was double elimination. By sunset, only two teams remained, Sigma Pi Mu and Omega Chi. It was a clash of styles. Omega Chi's players were surgical, stone-faced, precise, methodical. But Sigma Pi Mu had swagger, rhythm, chaos. Beck and Big Sauce made an unlikely duo, the undersized quarterback and the boisterous running back, feeding off the crowd, bouncing ping pong balls like they were orchestrating a comeback drive in the fourth quarter. The final cup came down to Beck. He leaned in, tuned everything out. "Ice in your veins, QB1, Big Sauce whispered. Beck released the ball. Smooth arc. Perfect rotation. Splash. The basement exploded. Beer flew. A Simpson flag was waved in celebration. Omega Chi stormed out without shaking hands. And just like that, the war began. 2 nights later, the Sigma Pi Mu brothers woke up to an unholy noise in the foyer. A real, live goat was wearing a tiny Omega Chi jersey. It had chewed through 3 composite photos and urinated on the welcome mat. Score 1 for Wartburg. Sigma Pi Mu responded. While Omega Chi was away at a lake weekend, the Sigma boys drove to Wartburg and bubble wrapped every item in the Omega Chi house. Toilets, fridges, doorknobs, one brother's pet iguana. They also spelled L in red beer cups across their front lawn. Omega Chi was not amused. Wartburg's counterstrike came on a rainy Wednesday night, 3:17 a.m. Every single fire alarm at the Sigma Pi Mu house went off simultaneously. Somebody had hacked the system. The brothers were drenched, half naked, and furious. Sigma Pi Mu's president muttered something about revenge best served as a cold dish. Simpson retaliated hard. At 4 a.m. the following night, the Sigma Pi Mu pledges, led by Beck, rolled deep into Wartburg territory with 30 industrial-sized rolls of toilet paper and 5 gallons of maple syrup. By dawn, the Omega Chi house looked like it had been gift-wrapped by a psychopath. Barstool Simpson's Instagram channel couldn't get enough of the prank wars. Eventually, the dean at Wartburg stepped in. He called it an unacceptable escalation of inter-campus conflict and an impressive display of logistics and creativity, but still technically vandalism. Both fraternities were fined. Letters of apology were written. The goat was returned to the local petting zoo. But in the basement of Sigma Pi Mu, where the paddles lined the walls and the beer pong table stood like a sacred altar, Beck Jordan earned more than just a beer-soaked victory. He earned respect. Not just from his game-winning beer pong shot, but for his guts, his brains, and his refusal to let Omega Kai walk all over them. The prank wars had ended, but Beck's legend on Greek row, that was just getting started. End of chapter 14. Up next, chapter 15, The Cow Tippers. If you enjoyed this chapter, please leave a like. If you really enjoyed it, please subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, God bless.